All right, so starting again with the Exxon Mobil situation, I want you to remember that this is a company that made $41 billion last year. Actually, it's 68% that was the bottom part of the chart, not 58. But let's see where the money went. Excuse me. 10% of it went to debt. 7% went to advertising. 4% went to salary and wages. 1% went to research and development, only 1%. The remaining 8% actually went to their profit. 8%. Most companies are about 15 to 20. They're down to 8. And here's why. Because 11% actually goes into their pensions for their former employees. 36% of it go to other expenses. I looked up those other expenses, and those other expenses happen to be small business. You have your riggers, your companies that transport equipment, companies that transport oil, like the shipping companies. Exxon owns some of those ships, but some of those ships are independent. You've got exploration. Some engineering firms are actually used in exploration details. Also, before they drill, environmental companies have to go out and make sure that everything they do is safe and report that to the government. Other things, you have plumbing, maintenance fees, janitorial fees, security companies, uh, I forget what else, management companies that go in and manage assets for them, accounting firms that look after their books, and on and on and on. Some of those companies are large, most of those companies are small, but 36% going to small business. 20% goes to the investment. Now, the dividend investment, you might think, well, that's the CEOs, that's the company execs. No, it isn't. Only less than 0.5% go to the company executives. Less than 0.5%. And of that money, those executives pay 40% of income tax. That 20% actually goes into the 401ks and the pensions of teachers, airline workers, uh, police, fire, union people, as well as the 401ks of non union people, of the average working American. It also goes to many stock investment companies that put money into that as well for their people, for their pension benefits, for their retirement benefits. So that 20% is actually the American people. 36% is the American small and medium business people. So 68% of these profits are going to the people, not the company. Only 8% goes to the company. Now, if you're Obama and you want to punish this corporation and take more money, you have to go to this 68% right here, right in this area here. That's who you have to take it from. That's taking it from the people. It's not taking it from the corporation. You have to take it directly from the people. Now, what you don't know about ExxonMobil is they actually made $70 billion last year. Why are we talking 41 billion? Well, because they had to pay $29 billion in taxes. That's something that we don't hear about. They already paid $29 billion in taxes before we got to the 41 billion. So, matter of fact, if you took the top 30 companies, you're getting over $150 billion in taxes. Our top 30 Dow Jones Industrial Average companies. That's just the top 30. 150 million is more than 80% of all countries in the world. So, how much does our federal government need? Well, it needs quite a bit. But if you're going to take more than 150 billion, you're going to start affecting the bottom line. And what do corporations do? I mean, if you got to keep this small 8% profit, you got to do one of three things. Number one, you have to lay people off. Causes more unemployment. Number two, we have to raise prices. Well, we sure don't pay enough in gas prices now, do we? Or oil products, for that matter. And oil products go anywhere from, heating your home to whatever. I mean, those are all oil or coal products. And number three, they can move overseas, which means we all lose out in that regard. So that's not something we want to see. We don't want to see higher unemployment than we have now. We don't want to see more of our pensions being taken away from us. We don't want to see more companies going overseas, not with our companies struggling today. As a matter of fact, and how do I know that he's going to go after this? Because the Democratic Party is pushing this. His own party. They had a hearing last week in which they had this professor, this was her plan, and they're considering this plan. She's going to, actually her proposal is that she wants to eliminate 401ks and pensions. She wants to eliminate them. She wants everyone to live off of Social Security. Therefore, you can only maybe put in up to $5,000 in your existing 401k. After that, you have to pay taxes on anything you put in there, to the point where it would be better for you to live on Social Security than it would be to have a 401k. Folks, even she admitted at the hearing that you're going to make 75% of what you make today in Social Security in the future. So if your benefits are going to go down in the future because it's broke, how are you going to live on that? Why are we taking away more money? Oh, I know why we're doing it, to enrich the government, give more power to the government. Well, that's not what America's about. That's not the Catholic Church's teaching on social justice. That's just a ridiculous concept, and we need to put a stop to that. We need to not go along with these plans that we think seemingly, in other words, give us a tax break, but in reality are taking money out of our future life. And that's not justice, that's not right. In our next video, we're going to go over the McCain plan and the Group B people. Thank you.